Hi there. Today I want to talk about advanced assembly operations in SolidWorks. And before we dive into different mating, advanced mates, and things like that, I actually want to show you some quick tips for how to save a lot of time when you're building models in SolidWorks. And that is leveraging other people's work. Okay, so a lot of times when we're building things in SolidWorks, we are building devices and mechanisms that are going to use a ton of off-the-shelf parts, gears and sprockets and air cylinders and things like this that we're going to go buy from a supplier. They're not custom items. It's a good idea when you're actually using those items to use the supplier's version of the SolidWorks file rather than making your own. This will do a bunch of different things for you. Usually the supplier is going to be far more accurate. They're going to give it to you for free because they want you to use their product, and it's going to make sure that the part that you're buying will actually fit in your design. So we'll actually hop online first and look at McMaster-Carr. McMaster-Carr is a large industrial supplier. As you can see, it has over 555,000 products, and it's essentially a big, giant hardware store. So I'm working on a project, and I'm just daydreaming about an amphibious car. And in my amphibious car, I need to use a chain sprocket. Okay, so I'm going to buy a chain sprocket rather than have a custom one made. And when I type in chain sprocket into McMaster-Carr, I can find roller chain sprockets. You can see they have a bunch of different options for me. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm after one of these. I can choose the ANSI standard of chain size I want. Maybe I want 35, and maybe I want 25 teeth. Okay, so I can download this guy, and when I click on it, it shows me the different bore sizes that are available. Maybe I want a 3/4 inch shaft, and then I can click on product detail, and as I scroll down, you can see it offers me the SolidWorks file. It actually offers me a bunch of different types, but SolidWorks being one of the biggest, most commonly used pieces of software, they give you the SolidWorks file right off the bat. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I can go ahead and open it. It's just in my downloads, opens up. There's my chain sprocket. I don't have to do anything to get that, just got it for free. Okay, now we're talking about assembly, so let's switch back to McMaster, and once I got my sprocket, maybe I want a little section of chain to model. Okay, so I can go to the roller chain and pick up ANSI roller chains, and I know I want, I think I said standard 35, and maybe I want a 2-foot piece, and so it's going to show me the model for that 2-foot chunk of chain. And it only gives me a few links, but that's all I need, and so I can go ahead and download that as well. And when I open it, you can see they give me a part file, shows you how they created that guy and all the different information I need there. Alright, so we're talking about assemblies though. How do we actually use these? Well, I can create a new assembly, and I'll go ahead and put in my sprocket first, okay, and then I can go ahead and put in my chunk of roller chain. Okay, now here's a mating operation that's advanced. We'll talk about more of these in another video, but if I move this roller chain, I want this surface here to be concentric to that surface. We're used to seeing this, right? So that puts it in place. But now it's kind of flopping around in my model. I want it to be centered on the sprocket, and I'd like it to stay horizontal in my model. How do I do that? Well, let's drag it close to where it needs to be, right? So that's about there. And then I'm going to go ahead and input some reference geometry. I'm going to put in a plane, and I'm going to make that plane be centered on the sprocket. So you can see if I first select one side of the sprocket and then the other side, it automatically says, oh, I bet you want a mid plane, and it throws a plane in there for me. Looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to add another mate, and this mate, you see our list of standard mates. We're getting pretty used to those. We also have advanced and mechanical mates. I'm just going to show you one advanced mate, so I can go symmetric. And if I look at the pick requirements for symmetric, it says pick the two faces you want it to be symmetric about. So I'm going to pick the inside face of the chain, okay, and then choose the symmetry plane. And I'll use my fly out feature tree here and select that plane. All right, and you can see it moved it right to be centered. And now you can see that roller chain is centered on the sprocket. Okay, so now I've solved the problem of it moving side to side, and I've located it off of one of the teeth, but it still is flopping around here. So a good way to solve that is I can actually go in and I can add a mate within the part file if I select the top plane, and then the top plane of my overall assembly. I can make those guys in standard mates. I can say, hey, make those parallel. All right. And now that roller chain is fully defined. It's centered on the sprocket, it's concentric to a tooth, and it's always going to be horizontal parallel to the top plane. Okay? All right, so McMaster-Carr is just one place. You can also get more advanced files or assemblies if you go to places like GrabCAD. Again, no affiliation with either McMaster-Carr or GrabCAD. They're just places you can go to get parts. GrabCAD offers all sorts of different parts and assemblies. You can see here's a pretty gnarly assembly that someone's uploaded. And this is just where people spend a bunch of time making something. They put it here to be shared, and you can download and use it for free. So for instance, I'm working on an axle in my car, right? So I can pull up all the different axle files that are available here. Okay, and this is if you click on one of these, maybe this is a front suspension, right? You can see this was made in Autodesk Inventor, a competitor to AutoCAD. You can also see, let's look at this next one, the trailer suspension. This is made in SolidWorks, so you could download the SolidWorks assembly file here that would include all of these if you wanted. So a great place if you're working on something and you just want to put pieces together in an assembly, you can come here and get a lot of the pieces that you need, right? So I'm sure we can type in engine and look at that. All sorts of different engines that we could add in, right? There's a GM350, all sorts of different stuff. Okay? So just a couple quick ideas, things to think about when you're making models. Definitely use things that are available online. It's a great resource, but do be cognizant of the fact you have to make sure that it's an accurate model. So GrabCAD is just enthusiasts that make stuff, so you don't know that this is actually exactly what the supplier dimensions it as. The nice thing about McMaster-Carr, they're giving you exact supplier supplied CAD models. Also, if you can't find something you need in McMaster-Carr, lots of other suppliers, or you can go direct to the manufacturers like Festo and others that make air cylinders. You just go to their website and they will give you the CAD for their parts. All right, tune in next time and we'll talk more about advanced mates.